for the record,
Mm-hmm.
most of the day while I was holding that red cup, it was nothing in it but Gatorade and then water.
Damn, that shit gets you hyped like that.
Damn.
At
He's
the
hydrated.
end,
Electrolytes got it done.
at when the Patreon started, I poured I poured some rum and like some fruit juice or something. But that was the first cup, so I hadn't even really been drinking it.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, Mark. Ain't nothing wrong with a little something.
And you a lightweight. Come on, man. You
Yeah,
only
ain't
like
nothing wrong.
150
We all
pounds, man.
Oh,
adults,
That's
Mark's a
man.
lightweight. That
a
makes
He
cup.
sense.
only
Mark is not
weigh
a lightweight.
120.
Mark,
I get
we
it.
is all of drinking age. You ain't gotta listen.
I
It ain't
think
no big
No, but
deal.
I just figured the coat would have had you drinking better
what I'm
than
saying
that.
is I ain't got no problem having too much to drink. I'm just saying I hadn't gotten there yet. I had just
Yeah.
started drinking it when that
Okay.
happened.
So it's this cheap ass rum was like a joke. You was in your
Yeah,
comedian bag.
we just having fun. Like
Yeah, I feel you.
So you just naturally just that turn.
Wait.
in that moment, yeah. In that moment, not all the time, not usually.
So how
So
did you
what?
perceive the moment?
Okay.
Oh.
I mean, it's hard to say without. Did you hear Flip's explanation afterward when we did spaces?
Mm-mm.
Not with you and him together. I saw I heard his solo spaces. I did not hear the Danny spaces.
Okay, because he did that, and then he put out a video with his anger management coach, maybe like an hour, maybe like
Yeah, Juicy
Yeah,
just
we saw
watched
that.
that. Yes,
Yeah,
Juicy.
which I watched.
Mm-hmm.
I watched
Uh,
that as well.
so I think he does fill in a couple of gaps but to put it like this, I don't want to say anything that he doesn't say because it's not fair to him. So because which is my point in the exchange, I don't repeat shit that's not my business, and I don't tell people shit. So he in the exchange, I'm answering Micah's question about what how
Did
I
you
perceived
perceive?
it.
Mm-hmm.
So part of it is I'm bringing different things into the conversation. So I'm bringing into the conversation that he says in an interview with Danny that he had an issue with somebody in a parking lot, and that I had to step in and shut and stop it. That I had to literally separate him from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I had to shut something down, and that I handled it, and that I didn't tell anybody about it.
Mm-hmm.
He says in the spaces eventually it was found out anyway by the bosses, but through other means that I still don't quite understand. But um, it's not my business. My point is, so there are moments that y'all might see as me just being an asshole, and I was being an asshole. Let me see, I was clearly being.
We know.
I'm not. No, I'm just conceding the point. I'm saying I don't want you to think I'm saying I'm not. But there were moments where I was responding to stuff that y'all didn't know had just happened. So the team player thing wasn't just about me saying, "Oh, you're not a team player." Because when he said it, he was clearly saying that I wasn't, and I was feeling a way about it because I had just done some major team player shit for him. And so, in that moment when he said that I don't go, that he doesn't go behind people's backs,
Mm-hmm.
again, I had just done the opposite and had done the opposite for the last year because I don't do that. Not for him, just for anybody. I just don't do that.
Could
Um,
you?
and so I took that personally because
Okay.
it was the exact opposite. And if you remember early in that episode, before we even had an exchange, I, th- I talked about how I feel when people question not my intention but my character or not my actions but my character around things. So I had already very clearly laid out a trigger point for me maybe a half hour earlier, and so right then it was happening in real time. And so my heightened reaction or overreaction was again, this isn't me saying I'm right, he's wrong. It was just me saying like this is what was going on in my brain as it was happening. So as I perceive the interaction, I'm perceiving him speaking the opposite of things that I knew he knew wasn't true in front of millions of people.
All
Um,
right.
and
Now,
later on, he acknowledged that. He said, "I knew that wasn't true, but I was mad about some other stuff that happened before I got there with him and
now,
Joe."
the way I kind of characterize it, I don't believe I heard it as you're not being a team player. I heard him say, I am a team player, and then you kind of
You
negated it.
said you
You
are?
said
No, you're
you
not.
are. Yeah, you were kind of say that he wasn't one.
Right, but before that, he said, "The difference between you and me."
Okay, so that's what you're saying.
He
Okay,
did
all
So
say
right.
that.
this is
Okay.
what I'm saying. So everything he's saying about himself is the negation of me.
Gotcha. I see what you're saying. I can see. Well, I see what you're saying. Okay, I see what you're
I'm not saying
trying.
you have to
How
agree
you
with me, but
saw
I'm,
it.
I'm surely that's not a
I see
crazy
how
thing.
you saw it. Put it
Yeah.
like.
So it was the team player that set you off, not the sucker.
Sucker was the smallest thing that bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Because then you did tell him you were doing the intellect jabs from that point on. The I'm gonna speak to someone that speaks English. Does that even make sense to you? I say regular words. They're just tricky to you. All things that someone could deem disrespectful. But I
For
think
sure,
you're
they,
saying it
they
was
weren't
like a behind the
disrespectful.
scenes. Yeah.
No, they weren't disrespectful. I'm just saying I'm not pretending they weren't. I'm just saying they came from a place.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, I'm just saying they came
Hmm.
from a place. And again, that doesn't make me right. It just means they weren't. But it wasn't like, oh, let me just be an asshole today.
Mm.
More
And
than normal.
I don't see you as being a not a team player, but sometimes maybe somebody would see you as being a bad teammate in a particular moment. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's fair.
Yeah, and that's sort of what I was feeling from the interaction. But in the moment, this
But
is
again,
three,
like
4 days later.
I don't think that's what he I didn't think that's what he was saying
What he
because
was trying to say.
when he went to the backbiting thing in particular, it was like, well, I've never done that to anybody up here, and I take that's something I take like to me that's like snitching. You get what I'm saying? Like to me, that's like the worst thing you could do. So for me, yeah, I took that extra. I, I took that extra hard. So yeah, so yeah, and so I said, I don't do that because
Mm.
this shit just happened, and I'm not gonna say because then I will be doing it. And
Now, how do you perceive these
You know,
actions 4 days? Okay, so go ahead, Juice. Go ahead. Yes.
I was just gonna ask, do you ever like when you get in these situations, like, are you ever able to be aware when maybe a situation is going awry and just pull back? Because it seems like you just always press, like you're like full court press all the time. You don't ever just fall back.
yeah, but see, I think to answer your question, yes, I do think about that. But I think to presume that presumes that when you see me pressing, that's the only time I want to press. There's a lot. I mean, there's every episode. I could name 2 times earlier that episode where I didn't say shit. I just shut down, and you could probably
Okay.
see it on my face. That's what I'm saying. Like, and at that moment, I had had enough. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it wasn't. It's not like every time I feel away, I get into these interactions. I just in that moment felt away.
So what I'm hearing
Well,
is this is actually not just this moment. You this has been going on, and it was a buildup, and you finally had enough, according to your
Yes,
words.
Well, I have
yes.
a question about that, Mark, because isn't it the second time that you and Flip got this heated? And the first time was
I would say the
pretty
third,
early.
but yeah, I would say the
That was
well,
third.
early.
on camera.
Me
You know what I
too.
mean?
I'm saying the
There
third
was
one on camera.
there was the third one. Okay.
Yeah,
So is it just like if is it less about things building up and more just you and Flip's dynamic, y'all personalities just have that effect on one another? Or maybe he has that effect on you?
I would say I don't know yet.
Okay.
We love each other, and I don't. Flip does it. I love Flip, just sincerely, and I don't have no issue with him. That's not true. We have issues with each other, but I don't have an issue. Like I might have an issue with a thing he does, just like he has an issue
But
with
not
things
him
It's
I do.
no
specifically.
But
vitriol
yeah,
between.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
but it's not
fair.
about him. So
Right.
the first time it was like I didn't know. The first time I had an issue with the chamois thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was a very specific, and I didn't know him. You know what I mean? And I didn't bring it up. So again, I felt like I don't know.
What
At
was
that
the
point, I was still.
shandy thing?
Remember
Jamie was
when
talking
Sham
about
did a
Mark
thing?
Lamont.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
And
that was
so,
when Mark did the whole like checking him for that on
Okay, okay.
the pod.
but again, I didn't bring it up on the pod. It came up on the pod. And again, like at that moment, I didn't quite understand the dynamics between what's like. Do we talk about this shit off air? Or do
With
we talk about this on
COE
air?
and what
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah. And if we
Mm-hmm.
talk about it on air, what does that mean? Like I didn't understand it because that's not the world I'm from. I'm not. I'm from a world where a media world where like you can't talk about shit. And I'm not saying that's better. I think it's worse because it makes people fake. But like, you know, on cable news, no one's gonna be like, "Yo, Wolf," and Wolf. The other day, you said I didn't like the way you cut me off when I was trying to talk about Palestine. Eat a dick. Like you can't do that. So like, I didn't really have like a point of reference for it. So that wasn't like a. I had a similar response, which was like, "Yo, like, if we disagree, let's just disagree. It don't got to get like,
you got to bark at me because
yeah,
Right.
exactly."
he was getting hype at that moment. Yeah.
So,
What
Mark, do you feel more comfortable up there, and that's why you're in a position to where you can show these sides of your personality? Because I fully believe that this is just a part of your personality. I think more
Yeah.
people are well versed. Just because you're intellectual and present one way, don't mean that you ain't got no hood nigga tendencies. I feel like that's anybody. You from Philly? Do you feel like you're showing that side of you because you're comfortable up there? Or what?
Uh,
Because I don't think I think you're too media trained to let that happen if this was otherwise.
well, part of it was unlearning what media training looks like. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So it's like we can be ourselves. Now, I mean, do I want to do that every episode? No. Do I want to do that any episode? No. Like I don't want that to be what comes out. But I think it's a different space where you can show emotion, and for me, it's now balancing that from showing like no emotion on TV, except for like a political debate, to like having space to do it, but not doing it in a way that derails the show, or makes us look bad, or makes shit just makes me look bad if nobody else. You know what I'm saying? I don't want
Mm.
that either.
Well, I
But
Mark,
don't. Go ahead, I
Mark,
guess.
let me just
Oh,
ask you a question, Mark.
That was
After
crazy.
after that podcast was recorded and you finally went downstairs in the elevator and got in your car, did before when you started that car, did you think, fuck? You like fuck, damn man, I kind of that shit happened on camera. Like, did you get that moment when you finally got downstairs or got on the road? Like,
nah,
damn, they caught that on camera, like me and him going at it like that.
nah, because we had another hour to go, so I had time to reflect while we were right. It wasn't like that happened and we went home. That would have happened then. It was more like, damn, that happened. Now we got to talk for another hour and a half, which honestly made it more manageable because by the end of the me and Flip shook hands before the end of the episode. At the end of the episode,
Mm.
What leads you to say something like, "Yo, not everybody up here should be paid the same," and you say that with conviction? What leads you to say something like that?
well, I don't think. First of all, I don't think that's a crazy take. I don't think everybody on the NBA team should make the same. I don't think everybody on the cast of Friends should make the same or whatever. Like that's probably a bad example because they did, but you get my point.
performance based. You believe in
Yeah,
performance
okay.
based compensation?
Can we
Yeah,
compare it to the actual pod instead of sports?
No, Dash, he meant
no,
that shit.
I'm not compare. I can't compare it to the pod. The pod is the thing is being doing is the point of comparison. My, my point is just that like I feel like that in all fields of entertainment, what regardless of what it is. You know what I mean? I'm going to pay more for this ticket than. And again, I don't think I should make the most. This isn't like I think I should make more than y'all. I'm just the reason it came up was because I was asked the question: would you take a pay cut for somebody? Right? And my point one was that shouldn't be something workers should be working out. Like these niggas rich, like they should be able to pay all of
Mm-hmm.
us. But second, if they weren't rich and we were just trying to make this company work, then yeah, if somebody had a huge pay gap, I would take a pay cut for them to make it fair. My point is the definition of fair isn't everybody making the same.
Mm.
What do you think about holding these conversations about contracts and payments and so on and so forth? Like, I know we always talk about like, especially when we were breaking it down on Monday, like it's really religion, politics, and money. Those are
Money.
the things you're not supposed to really talk about in job settings. Like, so after all this has happened, like, do you like? I'm just wondering, what's your perspective on that?
Well, I don't like contract talk. I think it alienates the fans. I think it's boring a lot of times, and I think honestly, historically, it's been the same conversation over and over. I just as a fan watching the show, I have found it to be uninteresting. Except for a few moments, like when Joe and Ish had that real big debate about something. Like,
Hakuna Matata.
Hmm.
yeah, but there's been few of those. So in general, I'm not with it, and that's not where I was trying to go in this conversation. I was a mic in the show when Joe was gone, and I was thinking about different directions to go in. And that you see where I started the show. I started off on like if an album could define
Yeah,
you.
Which is
actually, hold
really
on, and
good.
yeah, I want to get
So
to that too.
before I ever
Just
think about
while we got a
albums,
quick pause,
I
yeah,
feel like that
y'all
got lost.
killed. This whole podcast was amazing as far as topics,
amazing.
conversation. The fight. Even I could even say the fight was a little minor distraction from how good the conversation was in this podcast.
Exactly. I'm sitting here I was just trying to do my job well, and I know everybody else was doing their job really well. And so, like, that's how I was thinking about when we got there. So I had no mind that we were going to go talk about contract. Contract is almost what you talk about when you ain't got nothing left. You know what I mean? It went there in this random way. And then Joe made that joke, which was to me obviously a joke. Obviously, I didn't go to Joe about lowering Amani and Flip. And he picked Amani and Flip because those are the two people I joke with all the time. So it was obvious. You know what I mean? Like to me, anyway. Um,
Well, Mark, since you're in the community so much, I know that you're saying that, but if you're as active in the community, do you not know the narrative as it relates to those two and their pay? Like just off fan
I know
playfulness or whatever.
I know they were saying about Amani. I've never heard that about Flip, but
Oh, okay, yeah.
I could see that. But again, like they like Amani laughed and got put like this in his own interview later on. Flip said he knew that it was a joke, but
Oh,
decided
okay,
to
yeah.
take it a different way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he said that himself. He said I knew it was a joke. You know what I mean? But he was feeling the way he said that he felt away because he was. And y'all should check out Flip's YouTube. He breaks it all down on his YouTube video that just came out today. He said he felt a way about getting cut from the show earlier, they're not doing the earlier show, and he was feeling a way about feeling like maybe like disposable or whatever. And so when the pay talk and the joke came up, he decided that that was going to be the moment where he turned up, and I understand how he was thinking and feeling. Um, but so it wasn't a situation where like I threw some shit out there like threw niggas off and they weren't sure how to take it. Like he knew, and we've had these conversations. We've had these conversations offline before. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I think everybody agreed with me.
There was a conversation that was had previously on the pod. I think it was between Mel and Flip. It was like special privileges. People believe that Flip has special privileges where he could
Yeah.
get paid all day, where he could get
Mhm.
paid all day and show up to the Patreon and still get paid all day. Is that something that resulted in the everyone get paid the same comment, or shouldn't?
I have no idea about that. That's what I'm saying. I really don't pay attention to other people's situations, and I really would, even if I did, which I don't, I wouldn't talk about them in public because I don't think that's fair to anybody. But I don't think that I don't know if anybody was connecting dots that far apart. You know what I'm saying? I think niggas was tired. I think niggas was irritable. I was irritated from a few other things that happened earlier in the show. I think people were just feeling a lot of things, and I think it just and then I think I had some pent up shit from the last year. You know what I mean? Because I think there's a way that people in the community will say Mark doesn't pay attention or Mark keeps hitting niggas with jokes, but I get hit with some jokes too. You know what I mean? And certain things that I've asked people not to say and talk about. So
Hmm.
so it's like there's a sense that because I'm gonna say it's no way it doesn't sound like I'm throwing shots because I'm not.
But we
Um,
got to clip that up. That was
no,
amazing. That was an amazing soundbite.
I'm just gonna say like sometimes if you carry something, it's like you're gonna say I'm pandering, Michael, but it's
Of
like
course.
black women carry a lot, right? And so a lot of times it's assumed that black women can carry even more because they carry so much without breaking. And so I think sometimes like if you're the person who doesn't snap in a situation, I don't mean on the show, I just mean in life. Like if you're a person who doesn't snap,
Uh,
then people will keep doing shit because they assume you'll keep not snapping. If you're a person who does snap, then sometimes you'll get handled more with more care.
So I have a
okay, I
question
agree
for
with that
you.
sentiment. Yeah.
So I have a question for you, Mark, because this, and I'm gonna put your foot to the fire on this, because
Mhm.
this is, I think, what we mean sometimes. We're like, stop. Like, I get it that you come in and it feels like you're copping, please. Like, like, no, that's my podcast member. That's my, those are my guys, blah, blah, blah. We know that it's all love between you guys. Like,
Mhm.
there's already, we would assume and we would hope that that's a precursor. But sometimes just stand on your shit. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to go ahead and apologize for somebody when there's their own fault. I personally looked at it, it's already a pressure cooker up there, but it looked like that day was a pressure cooker in general. I was already thinking about the fact, like, you've been going through some things, and it looked like like even in that energy from the beginning, for me personally, from the beginning, from jump, that you already sounded away in the beginning of the podcast.
And I felt away. You're right.
So I picked that up, picked up on that, and then like Flip came in with a certain kind of energy, and it's always gonna feel weird when you're coming in the middle of a podcast, right, or in the middle of any kind of production, and everybody, it's like you're playing catch up, you know.
Yeah.
And Flip already has that kind of mentality where, like, and you could see it where it's like, gotta pick my spots. Are people like, looking for my flaws? So if he already has that kind of insecurity, and he says it, like you said, on his own, content, that yeah, he was feeling away. He was feeling like he was, maybe disposable, whatever the case was. And he comes into that. Of course, it's gonna be a perfect storm.
Yeah. I think that's right.
But
I
I
think that's
think,
right.
right. But then that means is, let us kind of say, hey, listen, that's what the situation was. And not just you, but like, in this case, it's just for you. It is what it is. That's the situation. Because I feel like otherwise the fans feel like our intelligence is being, you know, disrespected.
Yeah, and see, I feel like I'm doing the opposite in this case. I'm not pretending that
Yeah,
it's
I
just
don't
all
think this
love.
is the wrong
Mhm.
example of that. He's done that before, but I feel like this time he's just
Yeah, I
being
feel like I'm
Yeah.
saying
Well,
like
no, no,
transparent.
no. The reason why I'm saying that, or what prompted me to say that, is when he was rolling back with, he was talking about Shammy. He said, well, the situation with Shammy kind of upset me. And then I remember that everybody was like, nah, that's upsetting. And then you kind of went ahead and went on Spaces and said, nah, but that's my guy. Don't worry, me and Flip talked it out and it was cool.
I mean that's really how I felt. Remember, this is my first incident.
Yeah, but you felt the way about it.
Yeah, but I didn't pretend that I didn't. I'm just, I think the thing people don't get from me and Flip is that like we get over shit. Like honestly, I didn't think about I haven't thought about the chamois shit until today. Oh, that's not true. I
Mm.
haven't thought about how I felt about it. I brought chamois onto my to the Ian and Mark show as a way again of showing like, look, we don't care. We tripping. It's all love. Like we ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a joke now. So that's what I'm saying. Like I really be over it. Like I don't feel no way. And Flip and I, the good thing about Flip that I love about Flip is that he and I can have an argument, a knockdown, drag out. We'll talk on the phone, check in, and then we good. And we don't think about it no more. Or at least I don't think about it no more. And I don't think he thinks. I can't speak for him, but I don't think he thinks
No,
anymore.
but that's fair, and I would hope that, but it's just one of those things. It's like it's okay to be like, hey, I feel this kind of way. This is the situation, but end of the day, this is what happened. But it is what it is. I still rock with them, and but it's a known thing. But leading with that, it almost feels like can we be honest here? That's what it is.
Well,
Okay.
the issues that you had with Flip that you displayed on the Monday pod, are they resolved? Like, are you content with, or is it just we
Me and
shook
Flip are great. Yeah,
hands,
me and
we're
Flip are
cool?
great. Me and Flip are great.
Yeah, but is what was on your mind resolved? If you
I'm
know what
sorry,
I
I
mean.
wasn't being. I was saying yes to your question, and I'm
Okay.
adding me and Flip are great. I wasn't trying to avoid your answering it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Sound good. Rio, you came up. No, a few of you came up. Let's see here.
What's good, y'all?
Rio, go ahead.
What's good? I don't know. It's more for the stage and for Mark. I don't know if it seemed like that. I think most of y'all seem like not having a direction of where Joe and Ian is going with the pod is kind of bleeding.
Whatever you do, whatever you bring, whatever these people picture.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, you all
Damn,
good?
that was
Sorry.
mad disrespectful.
No, no, no. My finger hit the. Well, my hand
And he
hit
did it with
the.
Mona, who you know he don't fuck with, so you know it's extra mad.
Whoa, why y'all get
Oh
that? See, there
wow.
y'all go with those
Mm,
narratives again, man. Come
mhm.
on now.
Oh,
Mm.
I can't have narratives. Y'all the only niggas with narratives.
No, no, I'm just saying. You can't be
You just
critical of
come up here
anybody
and give
these
us
days.
narratives.
Rio,
Because
go ahead.
I almost clear
Restart it.
like if you think about a basketball team with a coach not knowing what the coach is trying to do,
Oh, the sports
who's
I
trying to
metaphors.
run the plays for, who trying to get the shots. It seems like everybody trying to find their footing, especially when you add new people to the pod. It's like, what's the direction they going in? Especially when you see they pulling in hella people on the pod at one time, it's crazy and not knowing what they doing. I don't know. From my
But
I feel like
I
sometimes
don't want y'all to I don't want y'all to assume that like we haven't been given direction or information. Like Joe doesn't keep us in the dark. To me, I've never experienced that.
got
So
you. That's
how
hey,
much
say
light do
less.
you need to know? Like, come there and do your job. Stop worrying about things that are not your job, like where this like podcast is coming up. Like, niggas ain't performing they best all the time when they come to the pod for them to be worried about that. Not talking about you, Mark, but I'm just saying, like,
I
I,
don't
I
either
think
though. Yeah, you're right.
it just be too much like focus on it's like you sitting here working your job and you worried about, oh, I wonder what corporate's gonna have us do. Like, no, nigga, do your job or else you're not gonna be a part of this shit anyway.
Nick, yeah, Nick Nack, go ahead, please.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing tonight? Um, I just came up because I wanted to say salute to you, Mark. I think everything you said was warranted. I was celebrating what you said, but I just want to ask you, like, it seemed like you have got like a lot of negative responses in the community. I am surprised by it, but I want to know, are you surprised by it? And have you thought about changing your hiding style due to the responses in the community? I don't think you should, but that's just
Um,
a question.
First thing, am I surprised? No. I think it was more supportive than not supportive. So that's what I would have expected. Um, if I had to put numbers down, like I thought it was gonna be 80-20, 90-10, 70-30, it might be a little more skewed against me than I thought, but nothing crazy. You know what I'm saying? Um, in terms of how people perceive there are things that people have said, the things that y'all say, right? That make me adjust. I'm always adjusting based on feedback. But I can't be somebody else based on feedback. You know, like because sometimes it's like I find myself listening to the negative person more than the positive person. Um, so I got to be mindful to not overcorrect for maybe a loud minority rather than a quiet majority. But then there are things that people say that are right on the money, or things that are helpful in terms of, that's why I've tried to take up more space. Even in that conversation at the beginning of that episode, I was trying to direct traffic and ask them I was trying to get more out of Ish earlier in the episode. I asked how people's weekend was because I wanted to hear Ish tell the dog story. You know what I'm saying? Like it, and not because I wanted to tell about my weekend, but because I want to hear about his. So you're just trying to be a better teammate in those ways. Always trying to think about it. Sometimes people make assumptions that I think aren't fair. Like, Mark is acting like he's friends with them or he known them a long time, so he's making jokes that only friends can make. It's like there's nothing up there that I haven't talked to people off air about to make sure they're good with before we do. You know what I'm saying? With very few exceptions, and when there are, I pull them aside and say, "Yo, is that too far? Let me know." You know what I'm saying? So that kind of stuff is harder to hear, but I also have to remember that even if that's true, the audience may not appreciate it that way. So that's my long-winded way of saying, like, I adjust my potting style, but I don't think I would change it, if that makes sense. Like I would tweak it and I try and get better, but I'm not going to suddenly become a person who I'm not going to change. I'm not. I don't want to be unrecognizable in that way.
So, Mark, I have a question for you. Are you kind of
Uh,
can we assume that you're like the 1A up there?
No,
Generally, okay. So, if not, I just am curious because me and Juicy were saying this a little bit before. Even though we had made mention of the drinking, right? That was clearly not trying to assume that there's any issue there. We're not trying to be
yeah, no,
disrespectful.
it's all
But
good.
what we were talking about was we listened to what you were saying in the beginning about having a lot on your shoulders with, like, you had just helped your mother-in-law and you had family stuff going on, and you were talking about feeling like the burden to help a lot of your family members. Do you feel like some of that kind of, like, I don't want to say people pleasing, but like that desire to take on more than you should is kind of affecting you at the pod, not affecting in a negative way, but maybe putting more than on you than you should, because you do give, you give
Like giving
leader up there, honestly, so it's
like
like
I know
maybe,
what you mean.
yeah,
Like giving a fuck when it ain't my turn too, like they say in Vegas.
yeah, like maybe you having a break to just kind of find your spots, chill, and not feel like you have to assume the role of taking that moment to lead.
It's an interesting question. I'd have to think. I'd have to sit with that. I mean, you might be right. I don't know.
Hmm.
Nobody asks me to do it, so it is definitely like.
Yeah.
But I just try to. I I just try to. It's like I'm gonna use basketball. If you put a bunch of musicians in a room who've never played before, but they're good musicians, they're gonna figure out how to play together, and they're gonna, what I mean. And sometimes you just know you have to do a thing, and so there's
Hmm.
days where I just know like I need to do a thing. And some days someone else can do that thing. Some days it's Flip who can do that thing. Some days it was Mel who could do that thing. Some days it was Ish who could do that thing. Some days it was Ice who could do that. But like depending on the topic. But there's days where I feel like I feel like I have a clear sense of what I'm supposed to do. Whether feeling like it or not almost isn't the point. Like I don't think about that when I think about work, and that's just some how my dad raised me. Is like there's a
Right.
job to do. It got to get done. It don't really like it don't really matter. It don't really matter. It's like the shit I was saying before. I think I said it in here. I think like sometimes like discipline has a trump motivation.
Yeah, but also
Period.
like
Without
rest and wholeness and wellness is critical too. So it's like there could be just moments like that. I just think it's
You're
just
right.
a
Yeah, I
something
think
to
you're right.
think about. Hmm.
You're 100
hey,
percent right.
I've been
I
told you.
gotta unlearn some bad habits.
hey, Mark, I
Yeah,
just wanted
sit
to
your ass
follow
down
up
sometimes.
with my question. I just wanted to let you know I don't want you to change your part and style. I love it. I feel like you're a team player to come and do BTS the way that you done it, the way that you participate in the Ian and Mark show, all the things that I've seen you do from the beginning of last year or whenever you started last year. I am very appreciative as a fan. So just keep up the good work and don't allow
Okay.
none of them to tell you that you're doing something wrong.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the thing I love is that my co-hosts don't do that. Everybody up there has never told me anything other than do your thing. Like and they respect it. They're not you know what I'm saying? Like they're good with it. So that makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying? I listen to the fans, but I'm also trying not to again like be prisoner to people's criticism. Anyway,
Appreciate you.
I'm gonna let y'all
Hey,
be.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sit back
wait,
down.
real
I don't
quick
want to take over this
before you go down,
conversation.
Mark.
What'd you
Mark,
say?
Oh,
before you go down,
oh, now you don't want to take over?
Hey
It's been
yo,
30 minutes, man.
before you leave the stage, was this moment the most viral moment you had?
in life?
No, just
I don't even think
from
this
what I
year.
known, like in like the black community, just seeing you go viral like this for this action.
I don't know. Sometimes you could be prisoner of the moment, so I don't know. I mean, this is a big one. Like I always tell about who calls me. You know what I mean, or who gets like
Yeah,
how
cause
quickly
I
I get to
know
my
when you
mama or my
did
brothers.
the interview, that went viral, but this seemed like it went viral, viral.
I think that
Nah,
Everything
he
that
got
the
Mace.
clip,
Don't forget that Mace picture. The
this was
clip.
bigger than the Mace. I think the Cheesecake Factory thing from CNN is still kind of the thing that because
yeah,
that's had legs. That's been like 10 years of like you know what I'm saying. Like it's still the biggest thing. But this was pretty big. The flat Earth stuff was big, but this was probably bigger than flat Earth.
man. If
Um,
you see a lot of the clips got millions of views, it's crazy.
yeah, no, it's crazy, and you know, I'm I'd like to go viral for something different, but
Yeah,
you know,
I
Um,
not
understand.
not,
Mar-
not being a nagger.
I want a nigger.
Oh
Based
God.
off your conversation with, I'll just, for lack of a better term, the OG, I guess, whoever called you at that moment. Um, did you rework in your mind? Would you do something different, but how you kind of carry forward trying to balance, you know what I'm saying, to keep your poise, keep upstanding, be seen in the same good light that you want to be seen in, and having moments that people will have. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel even more pressure? Is it more like because you on a roll here? You know what I'm saying? But
Not more pressure, just a
mhm,
reminder. You know, I feel that
okay,
pressure every day. You know,
mhm.
because every day that when I started JBP, there were a lot of people who were skeptical, like, why are you joining that? You gonna be blah blah blah. You know, all the shit people talk, but they don't really understand. Um, And I think that there came a time where I started to get what it was, but I had to strike a balance. Like, okay, I can play in on the jokes. I can even make the joke. You know what I mean? But I also have to strike a balance between sort of being off color, being edgy, being funny, being a different Mark than the world knows, but still stay true to my core self. And that's a balancing act that I have every day. You know what I mean? And I'm getting better at it. But it's something that even before last week I had to think about a lot. You know, if I could do this again, I wouldn't do it. Like I don't need to go viral like that. I mean, my Patreon did really well afterward. I ain't gonna hold you, but
Yeah, we
like
were wondering. We clocking it.
it doubled. It doubled. It
Good
doubled.
job. Good job.
It doubled with it. Like when I posted my little video about me and Flip, it doubled. My Patreon doubled within like 5 hours, 6 hours.
And actually,
Oh,
look.
nice.
I can't hate. We've been doing pretty good. Look, when y'all do the bullshit, it helps us too. I'm
It ain't bad
thankful.
for business, but that's the
Yeah,
thing. Like I
thankful.
don't want to be cynical about it. I don't. I mean, I sent Amani a text after I showed it to him. I said, "Yo, I might need you to come and punch me in the face at work tomorrow." You know what I mean? Just because like how good the numbers were. But in real life, I don't want to ever be cynical. You know,
Hmm.
I want to do shit that matters in the world. You know, that's why I took the job.
uh,
Feel when people are attacking Flip like on your behalf, like with our TikTok, and a lot of the like apparently you're really big on TikTok. People really support you, and it seems like people are just like, oh, Flip is just this, oh, he needs to get off the show. So like, what would
Yeah,
you say
they
to those
missed the
people?
context. I don't like that, and because if they watched as much of the video as y'all showed tonight, they would feel different. They would be like, Mark's an asshole. They still might agree with me and laugh at my joke, but they'd be like, Mark's an asshole. Mark wasn't a victim here. You know what I mean? And they'd be right. So like part of it is like that's why I hate clips because they don't show context. That's why I would come up here and defend Ish after the flat Earth shit, not because I thought Ish was right, but because there was just more to it, and I didn't want him. I didn't want world. It's like he's like if you don't know my family, don't talk about my family. So if you don't watch the show, you're not family. So like if you only see
Hey, talk that shit, man.
Hey, that's
you get what I'm
raw.
saying? No,
I'm
like so
clipping
if you
that
only
up,
watch
by
30
the way.
seconds, like you shouldn't be talking like that. And that's what I didn't like. That's what I didn't like.
That's the
uh,
shit I
Mark,
don't like.
Mark, in that moment when E gets up to, I don't know what he did with you, the massage,
He rubbed me down. Yeah, it was great.
yeah, all right. Does it?
Yo,
I understand his life
Always give
totally
us some
differently
dick
now.
he
massages.
massaged your shit. All right.
Hey,
Do-
Mark, I wanted
but
to
does it
say,
help? Hold on. Does it help in that moment when you're in that mode when somebody tries to calm you down? Or did it make it worse?
It didn't make it better or worse. You know what it did? I get what he was doing and I appreciate it. In that moment, I couldn't process it. You know what I mean? And all I was thinking was, this is good. In my brain, I think I was thinking like, this is becoming more of a spectacle. And when somebody like, no, hold me back. I didn't want it to look like I was trying to do that because I don't move that way. You
No,
know what I
fuck
mean?
that. We podding. I'm not podding. Which
Right.
one
And
is
so, and the
it?
problem with
Got it.
potting
I'm
is
not about it.
potting means like several things. At one point, I meant it like I'm not
I'm
potting, like
serious.
I'm not talking shit. I'm not. This isn't a performance. Yeah.
Oh,
But then later, when I said, "Are we potting? Or are we going outside?" I meant like, "Are we going to go back to work?" And
true.
I realized I wasn't making no sense. That's why I watched it back. I was like, "Oh, this shit don't make no sense." Like I get why this shit don't make no sense.
No, fuck that. We gonna watch that in double speed. I ain't gonna slow that. I gotta y'all in double speed when that shit's going on. It's crazy.
That's
Hilarious.
hilarious.
Mark, I got
This.
one more question for
Nick,
you.
not go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Um, I just want to say again too, thanks for the time that those hours that you spend in the community with us. I think we all appreciate that. But the question is, has any of your old jobs or old like CNN, Fox, any of them since you've been on JBP, has any of them reached out to you to offer you a job?
Nah. My bridges be burned in them places. Like I didn't, you know what I mean? I, I don't get fired for cutbacks. I get fired for like political shit. So they I do think at some point the people who said I was untouchable because of Palestine will come back around just because
Yeah.
like
Nature of the culture.
well and yeah and I was right. You know what I mean? It's like Mark was saying we shouldn't support South Africa. Yeah, if I said that shit in 1974, you'd look crazy now.
Hmm.
So I'm just being on the right side of history will get me certain things, but I don't want to be nowhere else. That's the thing. People seem to a lot of people think I'm making gospel music because my R&B albums ain't selling, and it's like nah. I actually like being here. I actually like what I do, and I actually like what I think I contribute. So even if they called me back, I wouldn't go.
Say
Multitasking.
fire me. I don't care.
Say that again.
Didn't you say fire me? I don't give a like when you was upset.
Yeah, that's different. That's different. That ain't
Hey,
about going to
Mark, no
another job.
multi.
That was me saying like again, I'm not performing right now. I'm really fucking mad.
Yeah, that Sagittarius anger came out, boy.
And to be clear, Joe was right. Like, sit your ass down. No, you can't. No, niggas can't go outside. Even if you're just talking, you can't go outside. Like, what the fuck? Joe was 100% right.
Yeah, he was right. Yo, what y'all, I mean, what y'all niggas doing up there, man? Come on, man.
And, and,
Uh,
and two high headed people ain't gonna have no conversation anyway.
And on a balcony, hell nah. They don't even let you do that on a cruise.
Oh,
They'll
I wasn't
lock
going to
them
no
down.
balcony.
did this blow up result in any? And it's just a question. Did it result in any cancellations for any type of speaking events or anything that you had lined up, or is everything just cool and clear?
It's like Joe said, the black, like academic community, like it's like I came to school with a leather jacket on to them. They like, oh, this
They
like,
love it.
yeah, they feel like I represented for them, even the ones that can't fight. You know what I'm saying? So they love it, but they're framing it as an anti-intellectual versus intellectual thing, which I don't like because that's not fair to Flip, and
Because
that's
you're
not
trying
what.
to make Flip seem dumb and you not
Yeah, and
really
that's not what
being
was
no fucking
happening. It's just not. It's not fair.
true. True. I can see that. Okay, I can understand your disposition, your position on how that, the because sometimes it did come off like, oh man, why you like Pixie said earlier, it's like you speaking out the side of the mouth. You had a moment, then you defend it. But I understand you defending the attacks without proper context. I guess if you saw
Yes.
it or you know what you're saying, then it's not like a blanket just raw critique of somebody just to be mean or to
Yeah,
to
and every
dismiss them.
critique ain't fair.
Yeah.
It's like I hated Kamala Harris's stance on Palestine, but I still didn't want people, even the people who stood in solidarity with me on Palestine. You still can't call her no monkey. You still can't
Yeah.
call her no whore. The shit they were saying, it's like there's limits. Like if you say, look, I don't agree, I agree with Mark or I agree with Flip, cool. It's not that deep. But when you start attacking at the personal level, like we don't do that to each other, and we don't want nobody to do that. We don't want nobody else to do it.